and welcome to another episode of Chennai AI Community podcast. Let's explore the world of artificial intelligence through interesting conversations. So, in today's world, when many people, students, they find it challenging to get placement. There are some who, take it with ease. It's because all the hard work they put in the undergraduate years. So, one such example we have Levin. Hi, Levin.
Hello, Yousef.
Thanks for coming today.
Thank you. Yeah, so hi, this is actually a first time podcast experience for me as well. So, got an invite from Yousef, so yeah, excited for the podcast.
Thanks, Levin. So, Levin is a software engineer working in the AI domain, and he has a very interesting journey, and he has utilized his best of the UG days by working on several mini projects. He has published 5 papers, out of which 2 got accepted. He has gone to Singapore and presented his papers on AI research. So we are going to be covering that journey today with Levin. Okay, so Levin, I would like to start with your journey. How did you get started with AI? How did you choose your undergrad?
Okay, so it was the COVID time when we actually graduated, so it was 2021. So by the time I was exploring into other options also, the same time AI was actually a booming field. So I was like exploring into, like probably I thought I'll go with either engineering or computer science, but I was much more interested in looking into the aspects of AI. So I thought, okay, maybe I will go explore the path further in AI.
This is before the ChatGPT.
Yeah, this was before the ChatGPT era. So before the buzzword of what AI was. So before all those area happened. So
let's talk about your UG days. Like, when did you start building projects? Like, was it part of your curriculum or was it self-interest?
So it is both part of my curriculum as well as self-interest. But talking in terms of number of projects, it is quite more when I put time to work on the projects which I am interested in.
So which year you would say that you started building
your
own projects?
So it was end of first year. So starting from second year, I started building projects on it.
Okay. So, if I want to go a step back, if somebody wants to start building their projects or to come to this level, what would be the foundation and base?
So the foundation and base, it goes with hardcore mathematics, because it's not like you need to dive very deep into it also. It's like you can just brush up and touch the outliers of maths. So few concepts which includes probability and statistics or linear algebra. Those are like the core concepts which you must like learn so that you have a deep understanding of how a aspects work.
Linear algebra, probability and statistics along with Python.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the base foundation.
Yeah.
So let's, I want to understand what was your first ML project or deep learning project that you worked on?
The very first ML project, so I was exploring starting with text related processing. So in that aspect, it was a very small project. So it was like sentiment analysis or text classification, be it named entity recognition. So these are like different aspects of NLP. Coming to the very first, so sentiment analysis, that was my very first.
Sentiment analysis for audience, let's say there are 10 Amazon, in any platform there are 10 reviews. So basically to understand, read the reviews and understand, are they happy with the product?
Yeah.
So basically the sentiment. Okay.
So at that time it was mostly used on customer satisfaction. To understand how the customer feels about the particular product or the service of it.
Okay, so tell me a little more about the project. What was the tech stack? Did you use your laptop to build, or was it a GPU? Like, what was it?
Okay, so talking in terms of sentiment analysis, it is more of a NLP related project. So the tech stack is usually Python by default, because any AI project you build, Python is very, it comes at ease with Python, and you have inbuilt packages already available. So it's like you utilize the package properly, and the package also offers the responding functions which you want to like use. So most of the training and the testing, everything you can use with Python itself. So in sentiment analysis, it was there's a library called Spacey, so which was used. They have their own functions. You can define them, or you can go with BERT. BERT is another concept. It comes with under machine learning. So I use that also as part of my sentiment analysis project. After I went into text, now I thought I'll explore into image also. So I came into image classification. So before that, I was actually walking through the basic image processing tasks. So like there is this package called OpenCV, which is the like all-time go package. Everybody uses OpenCV. So my first project on image was road lane detection. So it's a very simple project. It just has no AI/ML involved. It's mere image processing. So it goes with how the lanes are present in the.
So let's say there is a project like a classification of, let's say, a dog and a cat. Okay. So how does this work? What will be the tech used, and where the data will be available for somebody who wants to build this?
So So there are default packages again. So the two majorly used packages, which is PyTorch and TensorFlow. So for a beginner, I would actually say TensorFlow is a good package to start with. It is by Google.
Okay.
And TensorFlow is you have the training as well as all these functions are available within the package itself. But on a little upper level, if you want to step into exploring the other package, this is PyTorch. It is, you will feel that PyTorch is quite comfortable when you are shifting from TensorFlow to PyTorch. So that for the dog versus cat classifier, to be put in very simple terms, before even touching the deep learning aspect, we can go with the basic CNNs. So CNNs are convolutional neural networks. So we're working with the dog versus cat classifier. You'll have something called as class. So dog and cats are given a class 0 and class 1. So these are labels. So you pass, these are the outputs which you expect from the given model. So in PyTorch, you have the datasets available also. So they have something from Transformers, you can get it from Hugging Face also. These are like platforms where you can get the datasets available, and you can just use them in the pipeline and then use PyTorch as default libraries.
Okay. So now these are some of the mini projects that you worked. So then you started also working on the research.
Yeah.
Okay. So going one step level up. You know, I understand that generally in postgraduate or master, like in PhD, it's kind of mandatory. You need to have a research. But in UG, it's still optional.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like if you need to have. It's a personal choice. So you chose to do that, and how many research you worked on during your UG days?
So in the UG days, I was working on I think 5 projects. So I submitted it to 5 different conferences, out of which I got 2 accepted so far.
Okay, so if you can tell what are just outline what are the 3 projects, top 3 or 5, yeah.
Okay, so the projects which I worked on, everything is in computer vision.
Okay.
So the ones which got accepted, so the title of the first paper is Nighttime Flower Removal.
Okay.
So this was the paper which got accepted to an IEEE conference, and it was presented in Singapore last December. And the second paper which got accepted is image restoration. So it is by using a different framework. So this is little apart from Transformers. So there is a different drastic jump between 2 architectures. So we are trying to implement that and see how the results are. So that was one paper which was the second accepted one. And the third and fourth are mostly on medical image segmentation. So I was working with kidney glomeruli segmentations, and as well as brain tumor classifications. All those things falls under medical image segmentation, to put in general aspect. And the final project was also something related to image restoration, but in a different context. So these are the 5 works.
So basically one which was presented in Singapore was this
nighttime flower.
That is, if you take a picture of a light
at night,
yeah, that glare, that flare that comes,
yes,
it has to be removed.
Yeah.
So that was one project.
Yes.
The previous one was you said medical tumor detection.
Yeah, medical image segmentations.
Okay, so this is like identifying different tumors and
the tumor regions present in the given skill lesions.
Okay, another is image restoration.
Yeah.
Let's say some blur or something, smudges or okay. So this
is like photoshopping, but enabled via deep learning aspect.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, so that's interesting. So how about we go deep dive and learn more about it. So if you can just share some insight on what was the entire journey for the paper you published in Singapore conference you presented, right? If you can just walk us through what was the starting point and how long it took and the complete journey.
Yeah, so it was actually it was put from our faculty or advisor. He was handling one of our subjects.
Okay.
He just put it as a challenge. He told there is a contest held by the organization called CVPR. So it is like the #1 conference when it comes to computer vision and pattern recognition. So they organized a contest. It was problem specific on nighttime flower removal. So that is where it started. So we participated in the contest, and from there the journey starts.
So now this was a contest. How long do they normally give the timeline for that?
Contest is usually it's around 2 to 3 months.
Okay, so 2 to 3 months. You got this invitation for a contest. You enrolled. You participated.
In the contest.
Walk us through the journey. How you started building solution. What was the first thing you did?
So the first thing we did was walk through other papers which are available on the same problem statement.
Okay.
Looking into the work done by previous people.
Okay.
So
where do you see that? What is the source?
Okay, so there is this website called Google Scholar. So over there, you can put in your keywords, whichever problem statement you're looking at, or whichever models or any keywords. If you input, it fetches and gives you all the research paper results.
So, typically in IT industry, normally we say that reuse as much as possible.
Yeah.
So instead of building something from scratch, the entire research landscape is that you see what is already available.
Exactly.
And then you take it to the next level. Okay,
Yeah.
so you went, looked the papers, you found something interesting. So now what is the next?
So the first step is to, so usually papers, it comes along with their code. So they give like a Git repo or something to refer their code along with the pre-trained models.
Okay.
So the first step is to take the model, test it on the images which you have got, see if the results are good. So now if the results are good, now we can think about how to improvise the model on the same problem statement.
Okay, so my understanding is this contest which you are taking part, they wouldn't have told you this is the ideal image.
Yeah.
They would have just told you work on the problem statement, and finally they will evaluate and see if it is close to the ideal image that you're looking for.
Exactly. They'll give you just a test image without the actual image which they expect. So based on whatever output we got, they will compare and then give the results.
Okay. So for audience, the context is like, let's say the end result is a particular image with the flare removed, and all the contestants basically submit, and they will compare with who's more closer to the end result, and
so
that's
person who has the difference little less when compared to the actual output, so
Okay.
they get the higher ranking in the leaderboard.
Okay, now you took the GitHub source code. You can't run it on your laptop, right? So
talking about inferencing, like testing the available model, that can be done in our local machines. So with CPU also, but it takes some time. Still, when it comes to training, obviously you need GPU computes. So the first time when we were doing the testing, we did it in our laptops to see how the models working. But later when it comes to GPU computes, now we had to take help of our college. So our college offers some GPU, like faculties usually use that for their research purpose. So now getting a slot in the GPU, like getting permission access to it, it is, you need the permission of your advisor as well. So when they approve it, then you will be able
college
to
will help you when you're actually your professor one is the one who actually brought this to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you would have got definitely support.
Yeah, we got the support. So now it is like as all the faculties are running, you need that particular slot available for you to like put your code and then also run it across.
So let's say some students who's watching in some other part of the country, their college is not having the GPUs. What are the options that they can leverage if they want to work on such projects?
Okay, so now talking in terms of some model training which takes say around 2 to 3 hours, you can go with Google Colab, which offers a minimal GPU as well as for a fewer duration. So all kind of machine learning models, if you want to like train and test, you can use Colab. Now,
so it's like Google Colab will be like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's around 3 hours per day. Some deep learning models, if you feel like if your training requires like more than 10-12 hours of time, if you feel, then you can go with Kaggle. They offer 30 hours per week.
So okay, the compute is sorted. So if anybody want to get started, yes, either their college infra can be used or outside. So was it enough for you to use the college infra, or you had to rely on any external?
It was quite sufficient, but what happens is when there are other faculties who are working on their research also meeting their deadlines. So when that comes, now we need to like look for other options because we can't use our local systems. So we took help of our faculty itself because he had other networks. So we outsourced a little bit of GPU compute from the people he knows. So we were doing training with the help of that person for a while.
So you leverage also your college GPU and external GPUs as well for working on
for
this.
For like a week, we were using the other person's GPU.
For this contest, you're building stuff. Now, can you walk us through a little bit on the tech part of it? Like what was that? So you're talking about the flare removal, which is basically a light, a photo taken of a light source, and it has that glare things which has to be removed. So what was the technology? What models did you use?
So we thought of building it like a two-stage process. So one is to remove the flare, and then now so what happens is now the first stage we utilize a transformer. So this transformer, what it does is it takes the input image and then it will try to understand where the flare is present. Now it will erase it. So once erasing, now the pixels in those region goes missing. Correct. So now we need to bring back the original pixels back to the same place.
So this is for anybody who is using Canva or any eraser tools. They know that basically you erase that portion is gone. Now we have to reference what is around and fill that.
Fill that.
Okay, so that was a technique. Simple, in simple words.
So now, in simple words, this is the exact process. Now the second stage, now in order to do this kind of in painting, now we bring in the model called GANs. So now this is a two-stage model. We combine these two and then give the end result.
So, I mean, for somebody who is wanting to, publish papers, right? Like, what is the economics? What is the cost involved behind it?
So usually when it comes to registration, it's free. So you can register for free, apply for free. But say your paper gets accepted. So usually conferences, they keep some page limit, as well as if you want to write it for extra page, you need to pay for that also separately.
Okay.
So that payment also varies conference to conference. It can be around $100 to $200 also per extra pages. So that's how it varies. So if your paper is accepted, so for the paper to get published, your fee varies somewhere around like say $100 to some $700, couple of dollars. You have to spend out of your pocket to like get it published.
Okay, so uh, basically register for free.
Yeah.
And if a paper gets accepted, then you will have to pay for getting that paper published.
Yes.
And that also includes your conference visit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one more condition is you have to be physically present at the place to like present the paper.
Okay.
So that also becomes like a mandate in few conferences.
Okay. So walk us through your experience in Singapore. So when you went there and presented your paper.
Yeah. So this was during December first week. So it was held for 4 days. The conference was held in Singapore. So over there, the first 2 days. So ours was scheduled on the third day. The first 2 days were like workshop, and then we had other couple of presentations happening. So this conference, what they did was they took the papers and they categorized in different niche. So our topic falls under emerging technologies.
Okay.
So we had like a 1 hour slot. So in that 1 hour, like there are a couple of say 5 to 6 papers presented. So and you can take some time. So for example, me and my friend, we were presenting the paper together at the Singapore conference. So we took like 20-25 minutes to present our solution, explaining how it works, and we were showing them the outputs of our model also.
So while you were there, what was running in your mind? Your sleepless nights, your days in the lab, what was running in your head?
Yeah, so because during the last phase before submission, a lot of effort went into writing the paper, because so beyond work, it is more about putting your work in a paper. So again, it varies pages to pages. So few conferences accept only four pages, few take more than 4. So this conference which we submitted was a 4-page submission. So in order to put all the details of what work was inside, so it is also a very time taking process. So it was like around 2 weeks we spent on the paper itself to get the architecture within the 4-page, along with the results, along with the framework which we're using. So that took like a 2 weeks of time. And then the result which we are trying to achieve for this particular project, so as I said earlier, the server access, we can't get it in hostel, so we have to stay back in college to access the server. So there was 1 week, I still remember, it was like 5 nights we spent in our professor's cabin.
5 nights in professor cabin itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were there, only for having food we came out, then again we go back to the cabin, we were again working on it, we were sleeping down on the professor's cabin's floor. So yeah, it was quite fun, and at the same time it was little interesting. The journey was quite fun.
Okay, so that's an amazing, interesting journey in UG. Normally people submit papers in postgrad and all that. This is kind of a voluntary that you have done it during your UG days itself. Okay, I'm sure that this is not the only thing you would have done. You would have also participated in hackathon?
Yeah, Yousef, I have participated. It was few hackathons, but I still, like, the results were quite good.
If you can just list
some. There was one online selling platform. There's a company which organized an ML challenge.
Okay.
It was actually on attribute prediction. So to put in simple terms, as they are a company who sell online products which be like dress. So attribute prediction, it comes like, for example, if this is like a t-shirt I'm wearing, so it falls under a different category. So with a round neck, the color being black, and this shirt is designed for men. So these are like different attributes. So now the problem, what happens is, now as they are not listed by the people who are trying to sell.
Correct. The sellers might not give all that.
Exactly.
So this particular ML model helped them put those attributes.
Exactly. So what happens is, during filtering, when the people are trying to buy, during filters, it helps them to see all the available
all
products.
these get missed out basically.
Exactly. And the sellers will now try benefit out of this.
Definitely.
So that is the purpose of this product.
So okay, this one with the clothing brand.
Yeah.
What about any other hackathons that you participated?
There was another hackathon. It was conducted by a fintech company in IIT Madras.
Okay.
So this is again another AI challenge. So their focus, their problem statement was about loan eligibility for people who don't have the credit scores.
Okay.
So it is like a generalized solution which they were expecting, which is like an applicable one even for like farmers or like people who don't have a banking history, like there is no transaction through the online. So yeah, there was a solution which we offered there, and yeah, the results are quite good for that.
So you put all, let's say for hackathons you went, you did. I'm sure there will be some prizes and all. What did you get apart from knowledge?
Okay, so talking about the clothing brand, it was actually a contest held through Kaggle.
Okay.
So we got the 4th place in that contest. So the rewards were for the top 3.
Okay.
Okay, so
you barely missed that. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
okay. So the other contest, which was in IIT Madras, we secured the 2nd place.
Okay.
It was a national level hackathon.
Oh, national level hackathon. Okay. So what did you get in return?
They gave a MacBook in return.
Gave a MacBook.
Yeah.
Awesome. Super. Well, some people are struggling to get the jobs. There are people like you who have started building from the 2nd year, and multiple research papers submitted, accepted, multiple hackathons. So I think that's what would you suggest for somebody who is in college, you know, to make best use of their time and in AI space?
Yeah, so in the AI space, more than what subjects you're studying in college, I would suggest you can go through some online resources. If you want me to name, I can name few like YouTube resources or Coursera topics. So if it's YouTube, there is this channel by Naik. So he's like a very good person. Like if it's any ML or deep learning context you want to understand.
He started coming in Udemy courses also. He started.
Yeah, he has Udemy courses also.
Okay.
So most of them are free. Very few are paid. So it's like a very free resource which you can. It's an all-time go-to. Even if right now if I have some doubt with the old concepts, I still refer his channel. So apart from that, if you want little more, if you want like a certification, you can go with like the deep learning certification from Coursera. So there are ones offered from renowned companies like Google, and there is another company called deeplearning.ai. So all these companies offer good AI resources, so which you can refer and then try to learn how things work.
Okay. So one final question I have for you is, you put so much of effort during your college days. You did all this. Was it because you were thinking of placement? I want to get placed, or it's just curiosity and passion? What was it, or combined?
It was okay. To put it, I think it's combined, mix of both. Because earlier my initial plan was like immediate masters. I wanted to pursue highest after my UG degree. So I thought because these kind of activities will help with my MS applications.
Correct.
So that was what I was focused on. But later, after situations changed, after the processing got a little different, so I thought okay, maybe I'll jump into placements directly and then later see into higher as perspective.
Yeah, so basically all the efforts anybody is putting at this level, it not just helps in placement, but definitely helps a lot in their highest education, because they are going to see all this.
Exactly.
Any reputed or big league universities are going to need all this.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So thank you, Levin. I think your inspirational journey of how best to utilize college will inspire many students watching out there. Thanks for taking time and coming today.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for staying with us for so long. As we explore this world of AI, let's do it responsibly and ethically. Take care. Bye bye.